Is the Red Sox first pick in the 2023 draft the future of Red Sox catching? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and don't worry, we are going to make a full video tomorrow really recapping and highlighting the best picks from the Red Sox 2023 draft. But today I wanted to do a special video about the Red Sox #1 draft pick this year because this could be a special type player. It's a guy who could very well be the future of Red Sox catching. So what we're going to do in today's videos, we're going to break down who this player is. We're going to talk about what makes him so special, and we're going to talk about what his timeline / impact on the Boston Red Sox could quite possibly look like. But before we get into that, the All-Star Game is here, and to commemorate the 2023 All-Star Game, Foco is releasing a very limited edition Red Sox All-Star Game bobblehead. It's got the Space Needle on it. It's got a Red Sox figurine that has a really cool design. It even has Wally the Green Monster on it, and this is a very limited edition bobblehead. Only 102 are being made, so if you're into collecting rare and limited edition Red Sox memorabilia, this is your perfect time to do so. So if you are interested, click the link in the description below to get yourself a 2023 All-Star Game Red Sox bobblehead. Thank you to Foco for partnering with this channel, and thank you for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So, with the 14th overall pick in the MLB Draft and with the first pick by the Boston Red Sox, the Red Sox selected Kyle Teel, a 21-year-old catching prospect from New Jersey who was playing for the University of Virginia. Now, for the Red Sox, this actually feels like a bit of a steal. Most mock drafts and draft analysts had Kyle Teel as a top 10 prospect. They also all had Kyle Teel as the #1 catching prospect in this year's draft, and a big reason for that is because of Kyle Teel's athleticism. Kyle Teel is a really exceptional athlete who not only played catcher in college, but he also played the outfield, and his coach at the University of Virginia even stated that he believes that Kyle Teel, because of this athleticism, could be a MLB All-Star caliber second baseman. But that's not to say Kyle Teel is a bad defensive catcher. In fact, he's a very good defensive catcher. He has an insanely strong arm, grading at 65, which is well above average, and this year he caught 15 runners in 24 steal attempts, which would be a 62.5% caught stealing percentage for Kyle Teel, which is absolutely ludicrous, right? On top of that too, it's not just his arm that gets people excited. Last year, Kyle Teel had a really impressive 154 framing plus, which compared to the average college catcher would be 100. Kyle Teel was 54% better at framing pitches than the average catcher in baseball. Overall, Kyle Teel has the potential to be a really great defensive catcher for the Boston Red Sox. But what I think a lot of people really love about Kyle Teel is the possibility that he could be a above average defender at multiple positions at the big league level. However, again, most scouts do believe he has what it takes to be an MLB caliber starting catcher. As for the bat, that has been really impressive as well. Like I said, he was the #1 overall catching prospect, and a lot of that did have to do with his overall athleticism, but a big majority of that also had to do with what he can do at the plate. Teel is a left-handed hitter who last year finished his season hitting .407 with a .475 on base percentage and a .655 slug, which led to a 1.130 OPS. He had 25 doubles, 13 home runs, and 69 RBIs. He also has a pretty advanced plate approach for such a young player. It led to only 4 more strikeouts than he had walks in 2023, 36 strikeouts to 32 walks, and in 2022 he actually had more walks than he did strikeouts, 41 walks to 36 strikeouts. Most scouts believe that Kyle Teel is a guy who could hit for both average and power at the big league level. Now, there are some slight concerns with Kyle Teel's hitting approach. In 2022, he tried to focus on being a more power forward type hitter, and that actually did drop his average down to around 276, about half of what he was hitting in 2023. So there was some concern there. Is he a guy who just has a little bit of pop, or is this a guy who is a power type hitter? But overall, if you combine combine the fact that he does have natural power within his swing with the fact that he has fantastic bat to ball skills and the fact that he's got really great plate discipline, his ceiling in terms of offensive ability is really high. Most scouts believe that his bat could be an all-star caliber bat, but again, that concern is there when he does try and focus on power hitting over just being a straight contact type hitter, does tend to falter in terms of his overall average. So there is some concern with his hitting, but overall, because of the main tools that you can see within his game, in my opinion, it's not a super big concern, right? For the Red Sox, you don't need a catcher who's going to hit 30 bombs a year, but if he can have a 270, 280 average behind the dish, that's a really high level type catcher. Overall, the Boston Red Sox got a really talented catcher in their first pick of the 2023 draft, but what could his impact on the Boston Red Sox look like, and how long is it going to take for him to get there? In terms of Kyle Teel's timeline, it may be a bit difficult to predict right now. Obviously, he has yet to play any pro baseball, so there may be some bumps in the road there. There may be some setbacks at some point, but overall, in general, in terms of his timeline, it may be a bit shorter than what we've seen from first-round draftees over the last couple of years, because for the most part, the Red Sox have focused on high school level, just taking the most athletic, the highest ceiling type players with their draft picks. This is a college level player who's a bit older than the guys you've drafted before, so his timeline is most likely going to be a bit shorter than the guys we've seen in the past. With Kyle Teel, there is a possibility that you could see him start to at least knock on the door of coming up to Major League Baseball in 2025, if not 2026, right? Most likely the Red Sox will probably start him in low A baseball, but there is a chance that he starts in high A. Either way, even if he does start in low A baseball, if he does well at low A baseball, it's probably going to be a pretty quick promotion to high A baseball, which is kind of nice, right? Over the last couple of years, it's been okay. We've drafted the 18-year-old prospect. We've got to wait 4 or 5 years until he's ready to come up and make a legitimate impact. Kyle Teel's a bit different in terms of his overall timeline. For the Red Sox, in terms of what type of impact Kyle Teel could possibly have, this is really great news. One, because the Boston Red Sox didn't really have an exciting timeline when it came to possible high caliber catching prospects, right? There are some intriguing prospects in the Red Sox farm system that could be guys at the major league level, but there hasn't been any, okay, this guy, if everything goes well, could be an all-star caliber type player, right? Kyle Teel immediately could slot into this Red Sox prospect list, probably in the top 10. That's probably where he's going to be initially ranked. This is a guy who has a really high ceiling, and for the first time in a little bit, the Red Sox could have a high caliber type catching prospect. In terms of his impact on the Boston Red Sox overall, once he gets up here, obviously that's almost impossible to predict, right? You could project this guy as many times as you want, but until he gets to the big league level and until he actually starts performing at the big league level, it's going to be really difficult to figure out what his true impact could be. But if we are talking about projections, this guy, again, most people, Keith Law, Baseball America, Fangraphs, truly believe that Kyle Teel could be an all-star caliber type hitting and defensive catcher for the Boston Red Sox, which would be absolutely incredible. So in terms of what to expect from Kyle Teel, you're probably looking at still a couple of years until he genuinely makes an impact at the big league level, but it is a little bit lesser of a timeline than what we've seen from the first round picks by the Boston Red Sox in a little bit. And his ceiling is, again, a guy who could be an all-star level catcher for the Boston Red Sox. And overall, I think this was an absolutely fantastic pick for this Red Sox team, right? I love getting those super athletic, high ceiling type high school prospects, but getting a guy who fits a specific need and a guy who could have very well been a top 10 pick in this year's draft while being the number 1 catching prospect in this year's draft is really, really awesome to see. The Red Sox took a chance. They went after a position that they really needed to bolster within the system and try and get a guy at the big league level who could be a huge impact type player, and they took it and they ran with it. So I absolutely love this number 1 pick for the Boston Red Sox. And again, overall, if all goes well, the Boston Red Sox may have just drafted the future of Red Sox catching. but that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of the number 1 pick for this Red Sox team? What do you think about Kyle Teel? What do you think about his timeline, his tools, and what do you think Kyle Teel's actual impact on the Boston Red Sox may look like before he even steps foot in pro ball? Let me know all your thoughts on the Red Sox number 1 draft pick in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Also, don't forget, if you are interested in the limited edition All-Star Game bobblehead, click the link in the description to head over to foco.com today. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.